Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to another Runescape video. Video. Today we're going to be preparing for Underground Pass. So I'm going to be training in the background to get 50 agility and 50 thieving. And while I do that, I'm going to be reading a bunch of different articles on the wiki, and I'm also going to be catching up on reading about the leagues that comes out very soon because I really want to play it. So I figured now is as good a time as any to read up on it together. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and just enjoy the content. First off, these new leagues will be leagues number 4, Trailblazer Reloaded. Now, the Trailblazer, the first one, was the first leagues I ever played, and I think it was leagues number 2, because last year was something different, and the first year was, I don't even know, but I heard about it after the first leagues, and I was really interested in it, and when I heard like the relics and stuff that they released, I really wanted to try it, and now that this is going to be coming out again, I'm just super excited, so that's why I want to do it. At the summit, we announced the return of an old friend. Read on to learn more. You've been asking for more leaks from the moment Leaks 2 Shattered Relics ended. Oh, 3. Oh, it was 3. Okay. That's the one I played, was Shattered Relics. Oh, wait, no. No, it was Trailblazer. I think it was the one where you had the relics and you had to like complete tasks across all over Gillinor, and you unlocked different relics. So maybe it was Shattered Relics, I don't know. Anyway, and it's no secret which one has been your favorite so far. So we decided to resurrect a classic league with a fresh lick of paint. Get ready for Leagues 4, Trailblazer Reloaded. Trailblazer Reloaded is temporary game mode where you'll start a completely fresh account, separate from your main account. Initially, you'll be area locked in Mistalin, where all our journeys began. Just as before, you'll be able to unlock other areas after completing tasks and accumulating points. But choose wisely, as you can unlock 3 additional regions. The more regions you have available, the more tasks you'll be able to complete, and the more points you'll get. If you didn't play the Trailblazer the first time around, you're in for a real treat. And don't worry, this blog will get you up to date on everything you need to know before the league begins. What's new? Although we know you love the OG Trailblazer, a lot has changed in Gillinor since 2020. And although we're approaching this league with if it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude, we still want to make Trailblazer Reloaded feel fresh and exciting. New Frontiers. You may recall that the original Trailblazer had a continent-sized gap in the map. This time around, nowhere is off limits, including the entirety of Corent and Kebos. You'll be able to unlock everything this vast region has to offer, including early game staples like the Winter Dot, all the way up to the Chambers of Zarek, which I have not done before, so I don't know what that is. Of course, Corent and Kebos will come with their own suite of tasks to complete. You'll recognize a few staples from Twisted Leagues, alongside a host of revamped, rebalanced, and even brand new tasks to give you plenty to do while exploring the continent. New content. This might seem obvious, but just in case, we've added loads of new content since Leagues 2. If you plan to use the same strategy as last time, you may be in for a shock. Here, some of the new content you'll want to consider when thinking about your next unlock. A Kingdom Divided in Thralls, Hard Mode Theater of Blood, combat achievements, skilling updates like Guardians of the Rift, Temporos, and Giant's Foundry, Nex, Tombs of a Mesquite, Wilderness Boss rework, Secrets of the North and the Phantom Muspa, Desert Treasure 2, and Duke Celis, Susilis, Vardorvis, the Whisperer, and the Leviathan, and more. I don't know what any of that is except for Nyx. And Guardians of the Rift, I've done that. You'll have access to all of this and all the other stuff we've added to the game in the last 3 years when you play Leagues 4. Plan accordingly and choose your relics to suit. Speaking of relics, task and relic revamp. Despite our dire warnings, some of you might still be planning to dig out the old paste bin and fast track your way to the highest relic tier. Well, think again. We're revamping tasks and relics from the ground up. We're taking our task list and checking it twice, removing some, rebalancing others, and adding brand new ones so that earning points feels fresh. One thing hasn't changed. At certain thresholds, you'll still be able to unlock powerful relics that fundamentally change the way you play. This time, we're shelving some of the old relics and replacing them with new choices for existing relic tiers. Most excitingly of all, we're also adding Relic Tier 7, so you could pack more power than ever before. We're keeping the exact nature of the uber powerful relics under wraps, but rest assured, they'll be worth your while. Static rank thresholds. It wouldn't be a league without a spot of healthy competition. In previous leagues, reward tiers, ranging from bronze to dragon, were split up based on which percentage of players you ranked among. The top 1% for dragon tier, the top 60% for steel tier, and so on. While this system hopefully encourages people to play regularly throughout the league, it can also mean logging in to find you've dropped a tier and spending the rest of your day frantically trying to catch up. In Trailblazer Reloaded, we'll be experimenting with static rank thresholds to cut down on the frustration of never knowing if you're performing well enough. You'll be able to see exactly how many points you need to advance to the next rank, so you shouldn't feel obligated to log in and fight for a reward you've already obtained. This also means that you can jump in and out of the league whenever you like. No FOMO here. We'll get a clearer sense of what these point thresholds will look like once we're done balancing tasks. By the way, FOMO means fear of missing out. As before, we'll want all areas to feel roughly equivalent in terms of points, so that players don't feel obligated to choose the best ones. Again, we're learning from Trailblazer's previous outing and trying to ensure that no region is better or worse than the other options. Trailblazer is about forging your path after all. Rules. As with any league, Trailblazer Reloaded has its own rule set that fundamentally changes the game. These rules will look familiar to those of you who played the original Trailblazer, but we'll repeat them here to make sure everyone's on the same page. If you need a refresher during the league, all the info you need will be in this handy tab, and you'll be able to see the full name of the league once it's done. Trailblazer Rel just doesn't have the same ring to it. Area locks. Your character will begin their journey with only Mistalin and Karamcha unlocked. More areas can be unlocked by completing a fixed number of tasks. Note, the number of points provided by the tasks do not matter, only the number of tasks. These unlockable areas are the Wilderness, the Fremenic Isles, Asgarnia, Mauritania, the Caridian Desert, Kandarin, Tiranoin, and Corin and Kebos. You'll only be able to respawn in areas you've already unlocked. Death's Office, player-owned house, random events, and the Essence Mines will be accessible from all areas. Slayer tasks will be limited to creatures found in the areas you have unlocked. Treasure Trail steps will be limited to the areas you have unlocked. Iron mode with accelerated XP rates. Everyone will play as an Iron character, meaning there will be no trading between players. To accommodate the increased number of Iron players, shops will fully restock whenever they are reopened. Everybody will start with a 5 times accelerated XP rate. This multiplier increases further at specific relic tiers. That is what I loved about the leagues when I played. It literally was the best because I get to go through the content really fast and learn different things that I didn't know about. And like in such a short amount of time, since leagues is only like 2 months, I think. Starting stats. Your fresh iron character will have the basic stats from Tutorial Island, as well as level 3 herb lore, level 10 agility, and level 5 rune crafting. These starting stats will let you access the Drainer Rooftop Agility course, as well as low-level herb lore and runecraft training methods. All because the first agility course is Gnome Stronghold, and you don't have access to that. You'll also get a free Drayman Staff to be claimed by the League Tutor, which will allow you to access Xenaris. That's nice. Quest and diary unlocks. Some quests or diary tasks that require access to inaccessible areas will automatically be unlocked, most notably Druidic Ritual to unlock Herblore and Lost City to unlock access to Xenaris. Tasks. Tasks are a collection of goals and achievements for you to complete during the league. They span activities like skilling, obtaining drops, killing creatures, completing quests, and even playing minigames. Completing a task will get you league points, which you can use to unlock relics and other rewards. The more difficult the task, the more points you'll get to help you pick your next goal. We've sorted tasks into tiers ranging from easy to master. And they have all these filters here that you can use. I liked this a lot. Don't normally like doing tasks, but I did like doing it in leagues. Note that in Trailblazer Reloaded, regions are unlocked based on how many tasks you've completed, not the number of points you've earned. My dog is sleeping underneath me, so my leg touched him and he woke up. Obviously, some tasks in Trailblazer Reloaded will be area specific. Examples of area specific tasks include enter the cooking guild, defeat Obor, craft 50 water runes, receive a task from Vanaka. Examples of general tasks which can be completed in any region include cook 100 sharks, obtain a mark of grace, equip a U-short bow, and defeat a goblin. Again, every area will have roughly the same number of obtainable points, so you can feel free to pick your favorite. I like that a lot because before I was trying to pick and choose which ones gave the most points, and it was really hard to like go to the next area when I only had access to like the ones that have small amounts of points. So Relics provide buffs which let you customize your gameplay experience. Unlocked via league points, Relics can offer XP boosts, buffs to combat, additional luck while obtaining drops, or even specific skilling buffs. When you begin the league, you'll be asked to choose between 3 Tier 1 relics. As you gain more points, you can unlock other relics and solidify your strategy further. For the first time ever, Trailblazer Reloaded each relic tier. In Trailblazer Reloaded, each relic tier will also unlock a passive buff. In addition, there will also be 1 more tier than usual, for a total of 7 relic tiers. We'll provide even more information about relics as we approach the start date of Leagues 4, but keep your eyes peeled for a few sneak peeks. Remember, some are staying the same, some are changing, and some are brand new. Now for the most exciting part. Here's a sneaky peek at what rewards you can expect from Trailblazer Reloaded. Trailblazer Reloaded League Trophy. What would a league be without its iconic trophies? Place in any tier and you'll get a corresponding trophy, from bronze all the way up to dragon. Remember, we're trialing static point thresholds this time, so you'll know from the off how many points you need to obtain each trophy. We'll give you the exact numbers closer to launch, so keep an eye out if you plan to snag the coveted dragon trophy. League to league rewards. While Also returning from previous leagues are league-to-league rewards. As the name suggests, these goodies will let those of you who participated in Shattered Relics see your rewards again when Trailblazer Reloaded begins. If you didn't participate in Shattered Relics, don't worry. It's not too late to earn these rewards for the next league. League-to-league rewards broadly fit into 3 categories: pets, right-click options, and armor sets. Depending on how lucky you are, you may be familiar with pets from the main game. These cute and cuddly critters will follow you to the end of the world, and in leagues, they'll even follow you beyond. When you insure a pet during a league, it will automatically carry over to the next league. If you lose them in any other circumstance, you can reclaim them from the league tutor. Note that carrying over a pet from a previous league will not complete any pet-specific tasks. Right-click icons are automatically obtained and will show everyone who right-clicks you how well you performed in the previous league with a unique symbol appropriate to your tier. Nice! I like that one. Armor sets are also based on how well you performed in the previous league. When you begin, you'll get a basic set of starter armor and a weapon with variable stats that can assist in early gameplay. Don't worry if you get lagged behind. Armor sets rewards only go up to Mithril, so you'll be able to catch up in no time. Since these rewards only affect League's worlds, we won't be pulling them. Now, let's move on to the main event. Main game rewards. As usual, you'll be able to take a few League souvenirs back to the main game. After the league ends, you'll be able to spend your League points in the main game League reward store. These rewards are purely cosmetic, and unless otherwise stated, they're tradable too. If you have points left over from previous leagues, you'll also be able to purchase previous leagues' rewards from the shop. How thrifty of you! We'll talk more about the rewards we'd like to offer and pull them properly at a later date, but here's a taste of what you can expect. The usual league-specific banner, home teleport animation scroll, and outfit with matching cane. A new fiery teleportation animation override. A new death respawn animation. A new alchemy spell animation. A new vengeance spell animation. A cosmetic override for the toxic blowpipe. A new look for the rejuvenation pool inside your player-owned house. An infernal cosmetic override for Diana's bulwark, inspired by a player suggestion. The list above isn't exhausted, nor are its contents set in stone. Since these cosmetics will appear in the main game, you'll get the opportunity to vote on whether you'd like to see them or not. As always, we're also keen to hear any suggestions the community has regarding rewards, so feel free to show off your ideas in all the usual channels. There you have it, your first look at Leagues 4, Trailblazer Reloaded. The next thing to look out for is the rewards greenlight poll, which you can expect in the near future. We'll also keep you updated on all the progress we make between now and release, including info about relics, static, threshold, points, and more. Alright, now this is the most recent post about the rewards. Returning rewards. First, let's talk about the rewards that always make their return during leagues to show off your participation during this limited time game mode. Trailblazer Reloaded outfit. Each of the previous leagues had 3 distinct rewards that featured with each new addition: the banner, home teleportation, and the outfit. Let's start off with the latter and talk about the Fashionscape you can obtain in Trailblazer Reloaded. This outfit combines elements of the Shazian area of Korend, which is accessible in this version of Trailblazer, with the theming of this league's and the symbol of rebirth itself. Fire! This outfit has 3 versions, which will give your Fashionscape more flair with each higher tier, 3 in total. This is what it looks like. What better way to show off your participation than flying the Trailblazer Reloaded colors high in the sky as you follow your friends in a circle around the Grand Exchange. The Trailblazer Reloaded banner will have the theming of the league much like the outfit from above, and will be a purely cosmetic item to showcase your time spent in Leagues 4. Home teleport animation. Do you want to spice things up a bit by clicking the blue icon's iconic circle to head home and show the world that you gotta go fast, much like another blue speedy circle, Sonic the Hedgehog? Then look no further than the home teleport animation you'll be able to nab from the rewards shop. This cosmetic override from the home teleport will have you speeding off into the sunset at speeds unseen by the citizens of Gielinor, whilst leaving some fiery evidence behind to showcase your disappearance. Now, my only concern about this is I wonder how fast it's going to be. Because it's saying you're going to be fast, but I wonder how fast the actual animation is, because that could be broken. You could teleport like a lot faster than like people that don't play Leagues. Not necessarily broken, but you know what I mean. Leagues trophy. Well, we don't have the concepts ready to show you just yet. You can bet your bottom dollar that Leagues 4 will be returning with the coveted trophies. What better way to show off your skill and dedication to the League than with the untradeable trophies ranging from bronze to dragon? The trophies can be held in the offhand slot, aside from dragon, rune, adamant, which are two-handed, and will have a unique emote that you can access by right-clicking them. Don't want to make them part of your fashionscape? Save your hands from the heavy lifting and store them in your player-owned house via the trophy case. New rewards. Now that we've talked about the classic rewards, let's move on to something completely new and shiny. With the return of the most iconic League, with a twist of course, we thought about giving you cosmetics that would touch on some of the most iconic things in game that you would see and use. Whether you're just starting out or a long-time old-school veteran. Whilst some of them give you the cosmetics overrides for items you would expect, we've also looked at other areas that are just as commonly used to mix up the variety of rewards offered from these leagues. Let's see what we've got. Dinah's Bulwark Ornament Kit. One of the greatest creations of the legendary and renowned Dwarven Master Smith Dinah, creator of the doors that help contain Wintertot. This is the strongest shield in the game, and the fact requires both hands for you to use. There's no doubt why. So let's give this mighty shield the ability to look like one of the toughest pieces of content in game, the Inferno. Taking inspiration from the big, tall Tizkal Zuk himself and his lava-kept shield, we've seen this cosmetic highly requested, and we think it's about time the Bulwark gets some more love. Toxic Blowpipe Ornament Kit. Since the release of Zulrah, the Toxic Blowpipe has been one of the most iconic ranged weapons in the game, so we thought it was time to give this well-loved weapon its due with a blazing themed recolor for the newest league. Not only that, but we want to change the coloring of the special attack projectile to fit alongside its fiery look of Trailblazer Reloaded. Whilst we are aware that there have been some player proposals around the blowpipe's look before using the in-game magma mulligan that Zulrah drops, we feel like a cosmetic variant coming from this league would make a great start. That being said, we're keen to hear your thoughts surrounding this cosmetic variant currently proposed. This is cool looking. Rejuvenation Pool Ornament Kit. The player-owned house is one of the most essential things to make your time in Gielinor all the more glorious, as it offers you a wide variety of important utilities, so your adventuring is all the more satisfying. One of the most important features you can build is a rejuvenation pool, a one-stop shop to give you that refresh you need before, during, or after a long fight. The only time we've done a different variant of the pool was around the Christmas event. This change will only affect the ornate version of the rejuvenation pool, so we suggest you constantly rebuild your in-house table to benefit from this cosmetic reward. Alchemy animation. Now onto something where we've not done outside the League's themed home teleport. Some of the most iconic spells in game are seen time and time again as players run around the world casting them along with their adventures. Aside from teleports, one of the most iconic is alchemy, a great way to get some funds quickly without needing to go to the Grand Exchange or a shop for you Iron players out there. We want to give this notable spell a fiery themed animation to match the leagues. That's cool. Vengeance animation. Sorry, my dog started barking in his sleep. I had to wake him up. He's so scared. It's okay. Vengeance animation. From the standard spellbook to Lunar, the other spell we want to give the cosmetic treatment to is Vengeance. A spell used by PvMers and PvPers alike. We'd like to give it that penance stare feeling and give the iconic red skull some beautiful hellfire around it, allowing you to put the fear straight into your foe's soul. Death/respawn animation. Oh, this is cool looking. I like this. Finally, let's talk about death. Something that's common to old school players and is part of every player's journey, even hardcore Ironmen eventually. There is something notable about making another player sit, or just knowing it's over when your player drops to your knees in defeat. Well, with this final reward, we'd like to give you a bit more of a dramatic way out as your character bursts into fire, leaving their booties behind, like some platforming orange marsupial. Not only that, but you'll spawn back in around fire and be born again like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's everything for the rewards in Leagues 4, Trailblazer Reloaded. We hope that the rewards and theming of them give you some extra incentive to come and participate in the newest leagues this winter and give you something else to flex your time in this temporary game mode. I'm very excited. So that's all the information we have on leagues right now. I don't know when it will be coming out. I don't know if they've announced when it is coming out. Just says winter 2023. Okay, well, hopefully soon. It's almost winter time. I'm very excited to do it, and I think when it does come out, I haven't decided yet, but we'll probably do like another series just for the leagues, and I'll try to post videos more often since it is only like a 2-month event. I might start posting videos of just like the long videos, but like multiple times a week. We'll see. It's still kind of up in the air. I haven't decided yet, but when we get there, we'll make a decision together. But I'm very excited about it. I hope you guys are too. I hope that you guys, if you are excited and that you plan on playing in leagues, make sure to type it in the comments below. Right now, we're going to be reading some random pages on the wiki for the rest of this video, just to learn more about other things in the game that I don't really know and maybe you don't know about, so let's do that now. Our first random page is about Prifddinas. Now, I know about Prifddinas on RS3, but I don't really know if it's very similar on old school or not. So let's learn. Prifddinas is the city of the elves and the capital city of Terranwyn. Located just north of Isafdar, the city is the oldest surviving settlement on Gielinor, being created in the First Age. In order to enter the city, the quest Song of the Elves must be completed. While outside Prifddinas, it will appear as if there's nothing there when looking from outside the city walls. This is revealed by Braxorian to be one of the security measures in place during the God Wars. History. Prifddinas was constructed by the elves in the First Age, after they arrived in Gielinor from Tarthiad, their home world, through the World Gate by Saren, their crystalline goddess, and Guthix, the god of balance. The elves settled in Terranwyn, a large wooded area west of the Garlapos Mountains, a mountain range that isolated them from the rest of the continent. The 8 elven clans constructed their city in a clearing north of the Isafdar forest, where she had already created the Tower of Voices. Saren then provided a special seed for each of the 8 clans, telling them that they should be planted in the center of each of their districts. Doing so, these seeds grew into the towers which can be seen today near the edges of the city. During the remainder of the First and Second Age, Prifddinas would remain isolated from the rest of the world, thanks to the Galarbos Mountains east of Taranwyn, making it difficult for others to cross. However, during the Third Age, the God Wars began raging across the mountains. The Amlod clan, fearing that the armies of the gods may eventually reach the gates of Prifddinas, built the Gauntlet to help train the elves into the finest warriors and survivalists. During this time, a demon named Zolcano eventually made her way to Taranwyn in search of her brother, Skotizo, who killed his expedition team after obtaining an ancient artifact within the Karamjan temple that was intended to be delivered to Zamorak. The elves initially feared that she would be the first of many, but soon found out she was working alone and was under a curse led by Zamorak that turned her into stone. Damn. With the help of Ithil and the Amlod clans, she was captured in order for the Trahern clan to study her, albeit with many casualties. Following the end of the God Wars, the Edicts of Guthix were put in place, which banished the warring younger gods from Gielinor. Guthix then visited Saren, who conceded that she was unable to depart from her followers, as doing so would lead to their death. This is due to the Song of Creation, created before the elves' arrival to Gielinor, which inexplicably tied the souls of the elves to Saren and prevented Saren from departing from the elves for prolonged periods of time, as doing so would lead to illness and eventual death of the elves. Unable to part from her followers, Saren exploded into a shower of crystals, leaving the elves without Saren's guidance for the first time in thousands of years. Crystals of Saren were left scattered across Taranwyn, which allowed the elves to remain alive, though they were still unaware of Saren's unintended curse. When the Fourth Age commenced, the breakout occurred amongst the elves, and a pass over the mountain range, Arandar, was built. Many traveled east, exploring the lands that are now Kandarin. Spearheaded by the legendary King Baxtorian, the expedition formed non-aggression pacts with the humans and gnomes in the area, although they failed to form treaties with the Bandosians due to a civil war between them taking place. Soon, the elves permanently settled in the newly acquired area, marking the creation of the first major elven settlement outside Prifddinas. With Baxtorian's kingdom secured, it was decided that the Kadarn clan, who were a clan of skilled warriors and hunters, should be the first to settle in the Eastern Realm. The others followed suit soon afterwards, after seeing how much wealth was coming over Arandar. Within a few decades of the breakout, the elves had created many settlements and trade agreements between the gnomes and the humans. In the year 1930 of the Fourth Age, due to the absence of the Kadarn clan and the other settlers, the Ioworth clan, under the command of Lord Ioworth, betrayed the other clans and began brutally slaughtering thousands of elves, taking full control of Prifddinas and the Tower of Voices. Once all contact with the city was lost, and the gates of the Arandar Mountain Pass no longer being accessible, King Baxtorian called an emergency council and decided to send a scouting party of 5 to Taranwyn through the underground pass. Only one elf, Adweir Cadarn, reported to return to report of the Civil War. In an attempt to restore peace, Baxtorian launched a campaign to liberate Prifddinas from Lord Iorwerth. The elves attempted to recapture the city, which ended disastrously in 1935, with many Cadarn dead. This left the few survivors stranded in Isafdar, notably Lydia, a small, hidden village the refugees erected, where they fought as rebels. Despite this, King Baxtorian was able to safely evacuate the elven clan leaders from the city, who convened in the Grand Library to perform a ritual to revert the city into a crystal seed, forcing Lord Iorwerth to settle in a camp outside of its walls. The elven clan leaders then went their separate ways, giving Baxtorian vague hints of their whereabouts, should Prifddinas be ready to be restored. In 169 of the Fifth Age, the rebel elves, led by Aranwen, asked a human adventurer who'd found their way to Tirannwen and had been tricked by Lord Iorwerth and King Lathis to investigate the activities of the mourners in West Ardoin. This led the adventurer to the long-forgotten Temple of Light, whose safeguard they restored to stop the Prifddinas death guard. After the execution of King Lathis and expelling the mourners from West Ardoin, the adventurer and Elena were captured by the Iorwerth elves and brought to their camp to be taken prisoner. However, Aranwen and the rebel elves appeared to rescue the two. Lord Iorwerth will reveal that he lied to King Lathis to access West Ardoin in order to reach the Temple of Light to revive Saren. Aranwen refutes this, believing Saren to be dead. Lord Iorwerth thought the same until he managed to break one of the seals in the Grand Library, where he discovered a part of Saren remains trapped within the temple. He will let the rebels go, believing they could be of use in their plans, while they are none the wiser. Returning to Lydia, it is decided that the adventurer and Aranwen will investigate the waterfall dungeon to see whether King Baxtorian left anything behind that would explain more about the fragment of Saren. Upon solving a riddle he left behind, the statue of Baxtorian is discovered to be Baxtorian himself, who sealed himself in stone. Returning to Lydia, Baxtorian believes there may be a way to enter the Grand Library via the use of a specially made potion and by bypassing the city walls, which have been enchanted so that only Iorwerth elves and their allies can enter. Baxtorian believes Lord Amlod, an expert in magic, would be able to break the spell. The adventurer is then assigned to search for the remaining clan elders. After finding Lord Amlod and Lady Traherne, the adventurer is chosen to enter the Grand Library to discover what Lord Iorwerth is planning. The player discovers the broken seal, which proved that he was telling the truth, and proceeds to break the other 8 seals, discovering about the consequences of Saren's Song of Creation, and her attempts to reverse the curse she had unintentionally placed on her elves, with the darkest parts of her being combined with death energy from the Death Altar. Unsuccessful, she sealed this part of her in the temple, adding an additional layer of protection in the form of an orb of light, which is found on Gorla, a shrine north of the city. Reporting back to Lydia, everyone will be shocked by the revelations. Aranwen will then ask Baxtorian to temporarily lead. Iskawin will search for the Orb of Light on Gorla, while the adventurer searches for Lord Corwis and Lady Heffen. It is discovered that the Iorwerth had already claimed the Orb of Light, and was promptly recovered by the adventurer until Ayestin Adern, who had been secretly acting as an informant for Iskawin, informs that Lord Iorwerth has discovered Lydia via a traitor among the rebel elves and told him how to find the village. During the attack on Lydia, Baxtorian is forced to return the Orb of Light and is discovered that Aranwen was the traitor. Ooh, this sounds like spoilers from the quests. Who turned once he discovered that Lord Iorwerth truly wished to return Saren and had informed Lord Iorwerth of the entrance into the Temple of Light. After the Iorwerth leave, Baxterian sends the adventurer to seek Lady Ithel and Lady Melier, who both travel to the underground pass. What remains of the rebel elves are sent to the dwarven camp in the underground pass to defend the entrance to the Temple of Light. Despite all their efforts, Lord Iorwerth succeeds in freeing the fragment of Saren, and the adventurer is forced to defeat it. After this, the city is fully restored. The Lord Iorwerth clan is pardoned by the elves for their actions, who realize they served Lord Iorwerth because they had no choice. Despite this, there is still mistrust for them. Aranwin, who is riddled by his guilt of betrayal, leaves after helping build Leia and seeing Prifddinas. Thanks to the actions of the adventurer, it is decided by the clan elders to open up the city to all races, though it was decided that only a small portion of the Grand Library would be open to them. With other races visiting the city, new additions from far and wide have been added to the Grand Library's bookshelves. Getting there. Teleport crystal or eternal teleport crystal to the center of Prifddinas, south of the Tower of Voices. Breaking a Prifddinas teleport tablet made by using a scroll of redirection on a teleport to house tablet. Teleport to house if your player-owned house is located in Prifddinas. Ring of Returning, Ring of Life, or Death if your spawn point is located in Prifddinas. Spirit Tree close to the northern bank. Charter Ship. Iorwerth Camp teleport and run southeast through the dense forest. Necklace of Passage to Joral's outpost and then walk west over the mountain pass to Arandar. Features. Prifddinas is divided into 8 districts, one for each of the elven clans who helped build the city, with the Tower of Voices as the center. This is the only place where crystal implings can be found, which can rarely spawn in various locations across the city. Tower of Voices. The Tower of Voices is found in the center of the city, and is named as such because in the tower, it is said that the elves can speak directly to one of the fragments of their goddess, Saren, who chose to shatter herself rather than be forced to leave Gielinor when the edicts of Gothics were put in place following the God Wars. It has several features. An altar where players can restore their prayer points. Prifddinas, who is found next to the altar, can change the location where players respawn to Prifddinas. A small office containing the elven crystal chest that can be only opened with enhanced crystal keys. A memoriam device where players can use memoriam crystals on, rewatch cutscenes from Song of the Elves, and refight the fragment of Saren. And a teleport platform which leads players to the Grand Library. The following NPCs can be found in the Tower of Voices, as well as upstairs. Prifddinas, Fingolfin, Galithil, Indis, Lenway, Mahatan, and Turgan. I probably said all of those wrong, but I don't speak Elvish. The Grand Library is a massive library accessed from the teleport platform above, upstairs in the Tower of Voices. Here, players can arrive at the publicly accessible part of the Grand Library, unlike the parts that are visited during the Song of the Elves. Players can search the bookshelves to obtain texts found during the Elven Quest series, as well as 14 texts that can only be found within the Grand Library. The following NPCs can be found in the Grand Library: Lilyfang, Eldelote, Finarfin, Gwindor, Maedros, and Nimrodel. Melier. The Melier clan, led by Lady Fifon Melier, is the elven clan of explorers and herbalists. The Melier district is located in the northeastern part of the city and features the following: a spirit tree, Prifddinas Foodstuffs, a food shop run by Derwin. A dairy churn and a cooking range can be found inside the shop as well. Prifddinas Herbal Supplies, an herbalist shop run by Leo. The market, which contains several stalls players can steal from, as well as 3 Prifddinas guards, which can be trapped to avoid confrontation while stealing from stalls. A silk stall owned by Anwen, a gem stall owned by Glenda, a silver stall owned by Ozian, and a spice stall owned by Kerwin. I'm not going to read the NPC names because I cannot pronounce that. The Kerwis clan, led by Lord Pikwan Kerwis, is the elven clan of farmers and botanists. The Kerwis district is located in the northeastern part of the city and features the following: 3 teaks, 2 mahogany trees, and a sawmill near them. While there are 3 mahogany trees in the area, one cannot be reached by the player due to a rock blocking the way. 2 allotment patches and a flower patch, as well as a compost bin. There is no herb patch. A crystal tree patch, which yields crystal shards when harvested, and Branwen's farming shop. Cooking range can be found in the house west of the shop as well. The Kadarn district. The Kadarn clan, led by Lord Bextorian Kadarn, is the elven clan of warriors and hunters. The Kadarn district is located in the southeastern part of the city and features the following: a bank with a toll booth, and a bank deposit box. 3 yew trees, which are found just outside the bank. Cian's ranged weaponry, an archery shop run by Cian, and the Prifddinas general store, run by Gauntlet. The Traherne district, led by Lady Tangwen Traherne, is the elven clan of miners and smiths. The Traherne district is located in the southeastern part of the city and features the following: a building containing a furnace and anvil, which are closest to the bank, the closest to a bank, except for the furnace in Shiloh Village. A teleport platform just west of the Kadarn district bank that leads players down to the prison of Zulcano, a demon cursed by Zamorak to turn into stone. A cave entrance southwest of the bank that leads down to the Traherne mine, which is the only mine where soft clay rocks are found. A singing bowl, where players can create crystal equipment and other crystal items. Players who don't have the requirements to create them can have Reese create them in exchange for crystal shards. And Quinn's Mining Emporium, a mining shop. The Iorwerth clan, led by Lord Eyston Iorwerth, is the elven clan of slayers and assassins. The Iorwerth district is located in the southwestern part of the city and features the following: a cave entrance that leads down to the Iorwerth dungeon, a training ground used by the Iorwerth clan that contains various slayer monsters. Anarian's armor, a plate body shop. He can also repair Barrow's equipment. Iorwerth's arms, a sword shop run by Kaelin, who also sells halberds. And a small fight arena with 2 gladiators fighting, though players cannot enter and fight them. The Ithel clan, led by Lady Kaelin Ithel, is the elven clan of builders and crystal singers. The Ithel district is located in the southwestern part of the city and features the following: a player-owned house portal. Players can visit an estate agent, Allwind being the nearest one further southwest, to move their house to Prifddinas for 50,000 coins. A singing bowl where players can create crystal equipment and other crystal items. Players who don't have the requirements to create them can have Conwenna create them in exchange for crystal shards. Guinevere's Dyes, a dye shop. Leanne's Wares, a clothes shop. Prifddinas' Seamstress, a crafting shop run by Nia. She also creates custom fur clothing similar to Esif in Verog. A spinning wheel and loom can also be found in the shop as well. Eluned and Ilfine can be found outside the dye shop and the POH portal, respectively. The Amlod clan, led by Lord Eowen Amlod, is the elven clan of shamans and mystics. The Amlod district is located in the northwestern part of the city and features the following: the Gauntlet, a training ground created by the elves to ensure their warriors were capable of defending Prifddinas during the God Wars. 4 magic trees, which are fairly close to the Heavens district bank just east. I had a hiccup, sorry. Amlot's Magical Supplies, a magic shop. Elgan's Exceptional Staffs, a staff shop. A cooking range can be found in the house east of the shop as well. Heffen District. The Heffen clan, led by Lady Karis Heffen, is the elven clan of spiritualists and monks. Heffen District is located in the northwestern part of the city and features the following. The Prifddinas Agility Course, which requires 75 agility to run through. A bank with a pole booth and a bank deposit box. The agility course begins here. Iwin's Maces, a mace shop. Amrod, which exchanges crystal shards for crystal equipment seeds. An altar where players can restore their prayer points. A sand pit, which is the closest one to a bank. An entrance to Death's office. The Heffen Inn, a pub that sells Elven Dawn, a local specialty. Scrapped Diary. When Prifddinas was originally polled, the poll blog asked to add an achievement diary specifically for Prifddinas. This was scrapped before the in-game poll went live. The main reward for the diary would have been an upgradable Prifddinas pendant. That sucks. The charter ships also have a dock in the harbor to the west of Prifddinas. It provides rides to several other locations. After completing Cabin Fever, the charter ship fare is reduced by 50%. Wearing the Ring of Karos also reduces the fare by 50%. These two bonuses can be stacked to reduce the cost to 25%. That's pretty good. So you can go to Brimhaven, Catherby, Corsair Cove, Musa Point, Mostly Harmless, Port Khazard, Port Pasmatis, Port Sarum, Port Tyrus, Shipyard. On the docks south of the charter ships, Slippers and Surma can be found making music and dancing. Now these are all of the soundtracks associated with Prifddinas. Prifddinas translates to capital city in Welsh. Ooh, that's pretty good. Now we're going to be reading about the Gauntlet. I've been seeing a lot of people do it recently on Twitch and talk about it in Runescape, so I wanted to learn more about it. The Gauntlet is a solo minigame in Prifddinas, in which the player is given a limited amount of time to explore a randomly generated dungeon layout, gather various resources, and supplies by skilling and defeating crystalline monsters, all in preparation to defeat the crystalline Hunlef, which is based upon a deadly wolf-like predator from the elven homeworld of Tarthiad. The Gauntlet was created as a training ground by the Amlot clan to ensure their warriors were capable of defending Prifddinas during the God Wars. This sounds like dungeoneering, but for the elves. The Gauntlet can be found by entering the Gauntlet portal, found by in the northwestern part of Prifddinas. Players cannot bring any items into the Gauntlet. When entering the minigame, all items currently on the player will automatically be stored for its duration. Any pre-applied skill boosts will also be removed upon entry into the Gauntlet. It is a dangerous minigame, so hardcore Ironmen will lose their hardcore status, and ultimate Ironmen will lose items in instanced banks should they die in the Gauntlet. The area contains resource nodes, herbs, and fish obtainable through mining, woodcutting, fishing, and other gathering methods in order to make weapons, armor, potions, and food. These various resources do not require a specific skill level to gather. The dungeon will also contain various crystalline monsters, such as bats, unicorns, and dark beasts, which can be killed for further supplies. Higher level monsters will offer better drops at the cost of taking more time to defeat. Completion of the Gauntlet will reward players with various loot, including crystal armor seeds for crystal armor, as well as enhanced crystal weapon seeds for the Blade of Seldor or the Bow of Ferdheinen, and the crystal shards required to charge the items. Failing to finish, either by death or leaving early, will give a small token reward based upon how well the player performed, but won't grant any chance of unique items. The player will spawn in the starting room of a 7x7 grid of rooms adjacent to the center room that contains the Gauntlet's boss, the crystalline Hunlef. The player has 10 minutes to prepare to fight this boss, which is indicated by a timer. If the timer runs out, the player will automatically get teleported into the boss room. The player can also choose to manually enter the boss room before the counter ends. During this 10-minute preparation time, the player may use the resources of the Gauntlet's environment to create a setup to challenge the crystalline Hunlef. This setup may consist of 3 tiers of halberds, staves, bows, helmets, body armors, and leg armors, as well as food and a potion that restores run energy and prayer points. The player starts with a few items in their inventory, and they will be wielding a crystal scepter. These items will be needed for exploring the rooms and collecting resources. The crystal scepter. This item is required to light nodes to visit new rooms. It can also be used as a weak melee weapon. A crystal axe, which is used to chop fen bark. A crystal pickaxe, which is used to mine crystal ore. A crystal harpoon, which is used to fish raw paddlefish. A pestle and mortar, which is used to grind crystal shards into crystal dust, and to grind each crystal spike, crystal orb, crystalline bowstring into crystal shards. The teleport crystal, a single-use item for teleporting the player back to the starting room. The starting room. The player will start adjacent to the central room. This room contains a few features that are used for processing to the collected resources. Crystal singing recipes. A bookstand players can click to get an overview of all the recipes for armor and weaponry found within the Gauntlet. Eggnol potions. A bookstand players can click to read a text describing the use and recipe of eggnol potions. A range used to cook raw paddlefish into paddlefish. A singing bowl used to craft vials, teleport crystals, crystal paddlefish, corrupted paddlefish, armor, and weapons. Teleport platform, used to abandon the current challenge. Tool storage, used to reobtain crystal scepter, crystal axe, crystal pickaxe, crystal harpoon, and pestle and mortar. A water pump, used to turn vials into water-filled vials, which are needed to make eggnol potions. Each room in the Gauntlet, except for the starting room and the boss room, contains resource nodes and/or monsters. These resource nodes and monsters are farmed to collect resources that can be processed at the singing bowl in the starting room. There are 5 types of resource nodes. Each resource room will contain 0 to 5 resource nodes. A resource room may contain a combination of different resource nodes. The crystal deposit is used to mine crystal ore from. 3 crystal ores can be collected from each crystal deposit. This is used for creating armor within the Gauntlet. The linum terinum is used to pick linum terinum from. 3 linum terinum can be used from each linum terinum plant. This is used for creating armor within the Gauntlet. Fen roots is used to chop fen bark from. 3 fen barks can be collected from each fen roots plant. This is used for creating armor within the Gauntlet. Grim root is used to pick a grim leaf from. 1 grim leaf can be collected from each grim root plant. This is used for creating eggnol potions within the Gauntlet. And a fishing spot is used to fish raw paddlefish from. 4 raw paddlefish can be collected from each fishing spot, used for food within the Gauntlet, and it heals 20 hit points when cooked. Also, it counts as a water source for vials. Collecting resources from the aforementioned nodes will also randomly reward the player with crystal shards. There are 9 types of monsters that can be found within the resource rooms that can be categorized into 3 categories: weak monsters, crystalline spiders, crystalline rats, and crystalline bats. Strong monsters, crystalline unicorns, crystalline scorpions, and crystalline wolves. And demi-bosses, crystalline bears, crystalline dragons, and crystalline dark beasts. The above monsters may be killed for the following items: crystal shards, which is used for processing items at the singing bowl; a weapon frame, which is used for creating the lowest tier bow, halberd, or staff at the singing bowl; raw paddlefish, which is used for food within the gauntlet, healing 20 hit points when cooked; a grim leaf, used for creating egganol potions; a teleport crystal, used for teleporting to the starting room. Sorry, that was my stomach. Crystal spike, which is used to create the highest tier halberd, guaranteed drop from the crystalline bear; a crystal orb, which is used to create the highest tier staff, guaranteed drop from the crystalline dragon; and crystalline bowstring, which is used to create the highest tier bow, a guaranteed drop from the crystalline dark beast. Armor and weaponry. After exploring the resource rooms and collecting resources for a bit, return to the singing bowl to create armor and weapons. Since the crystalline Hunlef uses protection prayers, 2 different types of weapons are required for the final boss. To mitigate the damage from the crystalline Hunlef, it is advised to also create some armor pieces. There are 3 types of weapons: bows, halberds, and staves. These weapons are available in 3 tiers: basic, attuned, and perfected. Higher tiers are created by upgrading their previous tiers. Creation of each of the 3 weapon types requires the same resources. Basic is a weapon frame and 20 crystal shards. An attuned is a basic weapon and 60 crystal shards. And perfected is an attuned weapon and a crystal spike, crystal orb, or crystalline bowstring. These are the stats for each of the pieces. There are 3 types of armor pieces: helmets, bodies, and legs. These armor pieces are available in 3 tiers: basic, attuned, and perfected. Higher tiers are created by upgrading their previous tiers. The creation of each armor piece requires the same resources: basic, 40 crystal shards, 1 crystal ore, 1 linum terinum, and 1 friend bark. Attuned helm and legs. Basic armor piece, 60 crystal shards, 1 crystal ore, 1 linum terinum, and 1 friend bark. And the body is a basic armor piece, 60 crystal shards, 2 crystal ores, 2 linum terinums, and 2 friend barks. And the perfected is the attuned armor piece, 80 crystal shards, 2 crystal ores, 2 linum terinums, and 2 friend barks. I wonder how fast you can collect the resources, considering you only have 10 minutes. Armor pieces from higher tiers give players higher defense bonus and mitigate more damage from the crystalline Hunlef's attacks. It appears that the damage reduction is roughly 13% per level. And here's the table that shows you all the numbers breakdown. After the 10-minute timer runs out, or when the player feels confident enough to face the Gauntlet's boss, the player may pass the barrier into the boss room. This room contains the level 674 crystalline Hunlef. The Hunlef must be defeated to complete the Gauntlet's challenge successfully. The boss room always lies directly adjacent to the starting room. If you die as the boss dies, kill count credit will not be awarded. After completing the Gauntlet once, players may try the Corrupted Gauntlet, which has increased difficulty compared to the regular Gauntlet, so hard mode. Differences include: all monsters are corrupted instead of crystalline, with increased stats. All items are corrupted instead of crystal, with the same stats. The player only has 7.5 minutes to prepare. The boss room instead contains the Corrupted Hunlef, which has 1,000 health and increased stats. The table below describes its max hit while wearing different combinations of armor. Note that all 3 pieces of armor must be upgraded to a certain tier in order to successfully reduce the Hunlef's max hit. A tier 1 body with the tier 2 helm and legs will still result in the Hunlef having a max hit of 13. Oh wow, so you gotta do all 3 pieces. That's crazy. Rewards. Completing the Corrupted Gauntlet rewards 3 rolls on the upgraded loot table. The player will also receive a Gauntlet cape upon completion. Here is the loot table. Upon completing the Gauntlets challenge, players will receive 2 rolls on the regular loot table, several crystal shards, and a roll for the unique rewards. For more information on the loot table, visit the reward chests page. Upon completion of the Corrupted challenge, players will receive 3 rolls on the upgraded loot table, several crystal shards, and a roll for the unique rewards with higher chance of success. Upon failing the challenge, players might still get rewarded with some lower value loot. You can get crystal shards, crystal weapon seeds, crystal armor seeds, enhanced crystal weapon seeds, young left, which I'm assuming is the pet. In the corrupted mode, you can get Gauntlet cape, crystal shards, crystal weapon seeds, crystal armor seeds, enhanced crystal weapon seeds, and the pet. And then I'm assuming the bow. So the enhanced crystal weapon seed is used to make the blade of Seldor and the bow of Fairdheiden, this is a tier 80 ranged weapon, and this is a tier 80 attack melee weapon. Now, when we get close to being able to do this, we'll rate the strategy guide, because I'm assuming there's like a whole thing you can do. Yeah. Tier 85 and higher. Alright, so at least now we know. When we get tier 85, we'll be able to try this out. Pretty exciting. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching. We finally actually hit 50 agility and 50 thieving by the end of this video for Underground Pass. So that means that the next episode, episode 30, we will be doing Underground Pass. I don't know how long it will take me. I don't know if it will be the whole episode. We'll see when we get there. I have not recorded it as of yet. So the plan will be just to go straight into it, do the Underground Pass, and if I get done before an hour has passed, then I'll do another quest. But for now, I'm just expecting to do Underground Pass for episode 30. So I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about Prif and the Gauntlet and the new leaks that are coming up. I hope you're also very excited like I am. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your night. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.